Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second edition of SGI Pulse, our monthly webinar series by SGI MENA. I'm Ashik Thomas Joseph from GL Exhibitions, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you today. At GL, we have been organizing exhibitions and conferences for the last 3 decades, creating platforms that connect industries, businesses, and decision makers. SGI MENA is continuing the legacy of SGI Dubai by reflecting our broader vision to engage the industry more continuously and meaningfully throughout the year. Our shows are not just for 3 days, they are for 365 days. As a part of this strategy, we are proud to introduce SGI Pulse, a buyer insight webinar series designed to help our exhibitors and potential exhibitors better understand the market. I would like to thank our panelists and our moderator for their time today, and we are very excited to hear from all of you. This session would be incomplete if it wasn't for our online audience, so a special thank you for all of us joining us. We really hope you find this session insightful. Today's session is moderated by Ben. Ben is the editor-in-chief at Packaging MEA. Ben, thank you so much. Glad to have you once again for our second session. I'll hand it over to you now.
Thank you, Ashik. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon and a very warm welcome along with Ashik once again for this SGI Pulse webinar series, number 2. We had the first one last month, this is the second one now. So SGI Pulse, as Ashik was briefing you all, it's been created as an industry engagement platform connecting the signage and visual communications and on-demand print and allied digital print ecosystem across the MENA region. This webinar series has been curated to bring the industry together, to connect and to press forward towards the futuristic side of the signage industry and the digital print industry. So turning our attention to today's webinar topic, beyond print is what we're looking at, and we're looking at the future. So the theme is the region's shift towards experiential signage, personalization, and also on-demand digital print production. This is a very important discussion that we're going to have today. And as we look into the industry, at large, we're talking about brands and retailers, consumers. Increasingly, they are seeking faster turnarounds, personalization, shorter print runs, and they're also looking at a stronger visual impact within the industry. So as the moderator for today's session, I wouldn't talk much on the subject because we have experts over here who are going to share their views on this. So I'm pleased to welcome our esteemed panelists and industry experts, starting with Daniel Rodgers, who's the managing partner operations at CallPrint Dubai. We also have Sevag, who's the general manager for Robert Neon from Sharjah. And we also have Neil Diaz, who is the managing partner for Printouts Dubai. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thank you.
All right, so let's start with Sevag from Robert Neon. Sevag, could you briefly introduce yourself and your organization, Robert Neon? Tell us how your business is shaping and contributing to the region's evolving signage industry. Obviously, digital print is part of that, and also visual communications is also part of this landscape. So tell us more about your company, please.
Yeah, sure. Good afternoon, first of all, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sevag. I'm working as a general manager of Robert Neon over 20 years. Company established in 1986. We are celebrating 40 years. We are mainly based in signage industry, large format digital printing, and recently started in LED screens. Our business focuses more on transforming creative concept into impactful visual experience through the high quality of the production and trying to import new technologies in signage industries as much as possible. As the market is continuing growing in this, especially in this region, we are contributing to the region's evolving signage and visual communication landscape by offering fast turnaround and scheme and large force solution that helps the brand stand up in increasingly competitive environments.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sevag. And Daniel, over to you. Tell us more about CallPrint.
Hi.
And
So
your
yeah. So hi. So obviously, my name's Daniel. I'm the managing partner here at CallPrint. We've been in the region for 15 years now. Myself, I've got 32 years of experience in the industry, ranging from the UK and obviously a large period of that here now in the Middle East. So CallPrint is predominantly what we call an on-demand digital print provider. And what we do is we tailor to fast turnarounds, various different types of print media now, because obviously print is gone far beyond just putting things onto paper. And we specialize really in helping brands and customers really elevate their creative artworks. And one of the things that we've really worked on in the last few years is it's kind of really working more as a consultant and an extension of brands and of our clients. We're quite a creative output. I'd still believe print is a very creative industry. So we work very hard with our clients to kind of help promote their brand and almost be an extension of their business. And I think nowadays, print, everyone wants everything very, very quickly. They still want huge, high quality. And so that's where we kind of come in. And just to kind of finish, I think we're one of only 3 British owned and run British businesses here in the region as well. So yes, so that's us in a nutshell.
thank you. Thank you, Daniel. And Neil, over to you. Print out. The name says it all. It's all about print. Go ahead.
Yeah. So principally, first and foremost, Ben, thank you so much. Ashik, thank you so much to the entire team at GL Exhibitions and the audience who was listening to us. I sincerely appreciate this opportunity for getting a chance to speak about us. Printouts as a company, I am Neil Das. I'm the managing partner of Printouts. And we are a company which is into the digital print industry with a certain part of event management associated with us also. We are a 7 award-winning company from the Dubai Chamber of Commerce for innovative print concepts and finishings that we have done in digital print categories towards the submissions for these. We have been existing from 2008, so it makes us almost an 19-year-old company. We have transited to various levels of offerings within this time. We started with just being a web to print company in 2008. I have now transited through being a VDP leader during a certain period of time. Then we managed the print part of event management companies for quite some time. And now we have moved on to actually having a gamut of all different print technologies offered under one location. Which is trying to cater for print on demand requests from either simple time individuals and walk-ins to the largest corporates and multinationals who are making submissions for PPP projects of government related things. How we are contributing to the existing thing in the region is that first and foremost, we are extremely working on a principle of guardingly confident. Guardingly in the sense we gain knowledge every single day. We try to explore options. We trying to work towards newer technologies, and we are diversifying the different forms of print. So, and we are confident about the UAE leadership. We are confident about the industry because of the steadfastness and the reports that point out to the humongous amount of opportunities that exist in this market. We definitely feel we are at a very nascent situation right now and waiting to go.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Neil. And yeah, let's get into the webinar, the theme of the webinar. Let's have this going, starting with Sevag. Sevag, from a signage industry standpoint or from perspective, let's have a look at how the signage industry today is evolving, from a branding tool into a more immersive consumer experience, as we call it, yeah? And how are the EMEA regional customers, in other words, your customers, how are they responding to this shift towards personalized and more experiential visual communication?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks for asking. Actually, as I mentioned in the beginning, we are trying to implement new technologies in our signage industry, which this is helping us a lot, okay, for the clients to implement their creativity ideas on the signboards, which is started from the digital printing. Let me open a brackets now. Because of the new technology of the UV inks, which are more stable, flexible, and long-lasting, okay, we were able to create new ideas for the signage industry, which this is help a lot for our clients. I can give you for a couple of examples. In the beginning, we had limited colors for stickers or for acrylics for the letter space. Since this new technology has jumped into the signage industry, okay, it helped us to give them over 1 million color, since it is a digital. Now we are implementing their logos on the letter face by printing, direct printing on the aluminum, on the composite panel, every type of rigid materials. Additionally, we are creating a dual color for the signages. For example, previously we had a limitation of dual color, they call it day and night, which was only during day black and night white. Nowadays, this dual color thing has been increased over 1 million color as well. During daytime, for example, your signage is blue, night it comes white. During day is yellow, then it comes white, yellow, and etc. etc. And especially for the directional industrial signages, in the road signages as well as in the building signages. Digital printing helps us a lot to create more ideas on this directional place, because traditional ones was only an acid etching with color filling, that was all. Now on the plates we are putting a 2D print, we are putting lots of their logos with a very small size, which was before all this it was not able to implement these ideas.
Brilliant. I mean, you're speaking about 1 million colors, and it's massive
Yes.
when it comes to digital print capabilities. And I'm sure that you're also sticking to some of your corporate clients who want you to stick to Pantone colors, if you like. You're also working on those lines, aren't you?
Yes, we can even the
Outdoor,
Phantom
not
colors, CMYK colors, whatever color you want, we
yeah.
can use them in the signage industry. That is help a lot to our clients.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now let's move to the digital on-demand print side, starting with Daniel. So, how is digital print on demand reshaping this consumer experience? Something similar to what Sevag spoke, but from a digital print standpoint, how is CallPrint adopting to the growing demand for faster and more personalized, short-run production, Daniel?
Yeah, so Ben, so what you find now is where urgent used to be is kind of now the normal, right? So everyone wants everything very, very fast. And what digital print is allowed us to do is to facilitate that demand really, really easily. I think digital print has made printing actually a lot more accessible to the general consumer. And I think what's been really, really encouraging is I think it's become far more creative. So now you can push the envelope a lot more with digital print than you used to be. So a lot of the digital presses now come with extra colors that they've come with the white toner, the gold, the silver, the fluorescent pink now. So now the creativity is gone through the roof now. And I think, like I said, consumers now find print more accessible. Okay, so I think what we've done now, and I think what, especially within this region, there's a lot of people that are very brand orientated. Okay, they're there's a lot of businesses that start up here and are very precious about their brand, rightly so, and they want to promote that, and they want to see stuff that's different, okay, and they want to see something that's unique. And because everything now is moved to shorter runs, digital printing, you can do one copy to hundreds. Okay, so it's, like I said, it's far more accessible now. So what we've been able to do is really work with brands to come up with some really, really good creative solutions that can be produced in far, far quicker timeframes than traditional offset was. And also what tend to happen with the offset, you had to put that trust. You never really knew what was coming out until you get the final print, or you were there on doing press passes. Whereas now with digital, you can really, really give someone something tangible very, very quickly. And that has real strength and value to a customer. I think you've seen a massive increase in like influencers kits, bespoke packaging, onboarding kits for new staff, etc. So what we've really done is kind of tried to push that envelope a little bit more with digital print and kind of educate our clients on what is actually available, because I think there's still a little bit of misconception of what digital print is. But you can see now digital on-demand printing is a massive growth in this sector, and I think now customers and clients, etc., are really coming around to exploring digital print and actually, like I say, being far more creative with it.
I have a question for you, but I will ask that after.
That's okay, no problem.
After I hear from Neil, because I may get the answer from Neil. Neil, over to you. Same question, because you are also specialized in on-demand print, digital print. So your take on that question, please. You are on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Sorry. So the present market situation of print on demand could be not more emphasized, because there is a research report from Ken Research in 2000, which is concerning from 2025 to 2030, and it was for a period studied from 2020 to 2025, in which the post-COVID era was also taken into consideration. And they have, for the print on demand market, they have estimated the market at $420 million US. I mean, this sort of data only gives us more encouragement as to what's happening. This data was what was concentrated in the print on demand was customized prints. There was the rise of e-commerce. There was the growth of personalization requests. There was like t-shirts, hoodies, activewear by influencers, and all those people targeting the young and expatriate population of the UAE. There was home and living products for offices and normal residences in terms of the decor on the wall, and drinkware, kitchenware, accessories. And that was very important for us as exclusive for print collaterals by top multinationals demanding for events, tourism, hospitality, and even for limited edition arts that were requested for and were studied about in this report. Now, further, the UAE government itself has streamlined and has helped print on demand exclusively by helping startups, by lowering the barriers to entry and allowing them to operate without actually having a warehouse or without having large inventories. So all this is going towards print on demand. And the e-commerce section, the 2023, another UAE government help, as to even for the licensing part of the companies, the UAE government has helped. So where does printouts come into, and how does printouts want to adapt to this situation, is that we have made large investments in terms of diversifying our things from just the simple normal laser color printing to now adding a lot of indoor and outdoor based inkjet printing requirements, specifically fine art printing machine. Then we have added from earlier itself the capabilities of doing spot UV and gold foiling digitally. Then we have possibly now complemented all this with adding something called an ATC, that is a fully automatic CNC router, which addresses requirements for cutting, CNC cutting of acrylic, wood, and even soft metal. We have a fully automatic digital die cutting machine. We have introduced to complement this a manual die cutting machine and a manual hot stamp foiling machine. So we, as of right now, stand at a stage which is ever ready to, as much as the market says that it's required, we are at stage ever ready to address any ad hoc requirement from any SME, any multinational, or any government, even an overnight requirement. We operate from 7 in the morning to 10:30 in the night, from Monday to Saturday. So we are there all the while trying to adhere to that sort of a request from the market.
Right, thank you. But going back to you, Daniel, you were mentioning about the huge gamut capabilities on one side, but I know when it comes to digital print, the machine manufacturers are having these new innovative solutions with, besides CMYK, you mentioned about capabilities with white, and you also mentioned about silver and fluorescent pink and these kind of special colors which are all there. It's true. All these are part of the machine, and this is a solution. But how effectively is it's been used? Or is there a demand for these special colors? Is my question.
It varies. I mean, look, as a service provider, it's part of my remit really to kind of showcase these things. I can't expect the general public or someone to kind of go understand what my machine is capable of. So what we have to do as a business is create products, create solutions,
Yeah.
create ideas that we can then share with people and then go, well, actually, have you thought about using, like, foiling might be out of your budget, but we've got gold print on the machine. So I'll give you a very, very basic, simple answer. I done a promotion for a client. Do you remember the Willy Wonka golden ticket?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Instead of, he wanted a very, very quick turnaround. I printed it using the gold toner on the machine, and he gets his job same day. It's a very, very simple sort. But that's me selling the solution and him understanding that was available. So us as the experts in our field, we have a bit of a responsibility to kind of actually show these products. We can't just expect, like I say, our customers to understand it. So it's about designing solutions, designing products, using it so we can use it on notebooks and things, and giving it away to a client. So we basically, for example, sometimes when I go and meet a new client, I'll do them a custom notebook. And I'll do it with the silver or the gold, and I'll just give it to him and go, "Oh, thanks for the meeting. Here's a little notebook for, with your logo, etc. on." And that sits with him. And then later on, hopefully, he will come back or she will come back and go, "Oh, I really like these. How can I explore that further?" Okay, it's never going to replace the foiling and etc. But it's there and it can be utilized. But that's down to us as a service provider, if that makes sense.
Right, right. Thank you. Staying with you, Daniel, I think the next
Yeah.
question is very interesting because it's something which is close to my heart. We're talking about digital print for packaging, right?
Yes.
And we spoke about that. And these colors that you mentioned also is kind of part of embellishment that forms within the print for packaging, for premium packaging, if you like. And also this particular sector, although it's for short run, it's evolving. Luxury products and premium products are growing in this part of the world. So tell us a bit more about how do you see this digital print for packaging or this premium packaging evolving in our region, and where do you see its role in
Well,
the future of
yeah,
packaging?
I think packaging is got huge potential in this region. I think we we are very fortunate that there's a lot of really creative F&B outlets here. I mean, we're very fortunate that you can order from virtually any F&B restaurant in the region. Okay, and there's always new concepts, new startups. They're always looking, and also when these new businesses are starting, they're very wary of producing hundreds and thousands of materials that they may sell or they may not sell or they have to store, etc. And sometimes they just want to dip their toe and kind of be a little bit experimental. And that's where a lot of the digital short-run packaging can come in, especially with like embellishments that are now coming on, making it more accessible. Okay, so again, like I said at the very beginning, I still think print is a hugely creative industry, and I think design and now is far better than it ever used to be. And with the spot UV, the different texture, you can use spot UV in textures and patterns. You don't just have to use it to put on the logo. You have the 3D foiling effects that you can create. And the beauty of it is and especially if you've got like Neil was saying, with your digital die cutting machine, you can create concepts, and you can create a one-off before you go into a mass production if that's what the client wants to do. And that's really exciting as a service provider, that we can be part of that journey, and we can actually sit with a client and go, well, have you thought about this? Let's create something unique together. And then when you see it from the real concept to the finished product, it has huge value. And like I say, it's a massive growth market. It's an exciting market to be part of. And like I say, Dubai and the UAE really encourage entrepreneurs and new businesses, and there's always new businesses starting up in this region. There's always people looking to do something different, and clients want to do something different. They want to do something exciting, and then if you can offer these different range of techniques, and because again, we're the experts, right, in our industry. We're almost like, we say, we have to consult the clients. We have to let them understand what is possible, and then allow them to push the envelope a little bit further as well. So I think, like you say, it will never replace traditional offset packaging. Of course, it won't. But I do think there's a huge potential in that market, and I think you're seeing it now from a lot of suppliers, manufacturers. They're really tailoring a lot of solutions for the print digital market for short run packaging.
Thank you, Daniel. I think let's also hear from Neil. From your standpoint, I visited you recently. I saw some ad hoc jobs, packaging jobs that you have done. Tell us more about your experience with digital print for packaging.
It's so nice to know that you can keep all those things in mind. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. For the word of mouth. Dan, Ben, in relation to what you mentioned about packaging has really caught on in the recent past for short runs and for customization. There are very strong examples of that. One of the strong examples is based on the UAE government asked for, the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment asked for usage of green, recycled, eco-friendly products to be used in all the federal government departments. Etisalat took up the first thing, and then the other day I started finding that somebody had a fully customized green, eco-friendly packed SIM card package. And it was only customized with a sticker on top. So that goes to say that, it's already started catching on. Then there's, in pharma and cosmetics, it's evident that there are tamper-free stickers necessary. Then you have, as what Daniel was just saying, Chalhoub Group, 38%, they have revealed that 38% of their clients want stickers and Arabic scripts and specialized embellished metallic finishes. So that adds on to the thing. Then there is the Saudi dairy giant Almarai. It has been doing extremely small 12 seasonal flavors last year, and they have demanding for very small quantities of labels for each of these products, all with exclusive finishings. You have the pharmaceutical industry. Now, another thing which has happened in Saudi is that Saudi has demanded that all prescriptions and cartons of packages have to have a 2D barcode. Earlier, they had only a 1D barcode. That's the thing. Now it has moved to 2D barcode. Now, all of it has to be redone with a 2D barcode starting from December 2025. So these, and there's dairy, there is confectionery, there is all pet foods which require Arabic labels, halal logos to be put across. So then again they require these sort of customized small labels and print on demand short runs for packagings, which is existing which is coming internationally already. So basically we as printouts, we would love to see that there is we could contribute in this, and we are trying to get ourselves ready. Industry wise, there is a lot of investments that a lot of digital companies have made in and around the region. Oman's Laden Polymer
Yeah.
Park, they have got 8 or 9 newly installed digital printing presses. There is the EPAC, which has got 20 HP digital indigos, which have been taken for the region. Eqtisad has got a couple of more tie-ups for 6 HP indigos. We have Al Nabuda, which is our local entity, which has bought some Xenon XC500 machines exclusively for satisfying noon and Talabat requirements of ad hoc nature. We have Abu Dhabi Khalifa Industrial Port, which has got an exclusive investment of more than 420 million US dollars towards the print packaging industry for various packaging products. We have we have a local another company called Fire Alarm, which has tied up with Al Nabuda, which has created a 24/7 unit for containing of Xenon CX500 units to print labels on demand. These are all addressing the absolute ad hoc nature requirements of print on demands in the packaging industry. So there's definitely a lot more that can be looked forward to. And as this market is opening up, there's nothing like it.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for your thoughts on digital print for packaging. That was wonderful. Let's get back to our signage, which is one of the key areas, for today's discussion. Sevag, you've been patiently waiting, and definitely there's something very important that I want to ask you. Today's signage industry, okay, we see customers are demanding for faster delivery. It's always there. We always joke saying that he wants delivery yesterday, kind of a thing. And obviously they don't want to compromise on quality. They want the highest possible quality, and they want the best customization if it is possible, if it's there. So from Robert Neon's standpoint, Sevag, please tell us your production and your project strategy, and you have to maintain your efficiency, and the most important point, profitability and the price. It's a big challenge, isn't it? How do you really maintain this and make sure that your customer is given the best experience, but obviously is going to negotiate to the lowest possible price? How do you work with this kind of a challenge?
There is a big debate on this. First of all, this question, it has like 2-3 parts to be discussed with. First of all, to be a delivery faster and in the quality, we are turning more into automated machine to increase the speed of the production, and at the same time to reduce the human error, because always, the fabrication in the industry, we have a lot of fabrication. So we are more going into automated machineries to make it faster and more precise, to give us a good result. Additionally, regarding the second part of the question, see, we are more leaning on 3 major points, which is the success of our company is the quality, deep trust, and exceptional service. Okay, so when we talk about quality, we talk about signboards. We have a client, their signboards are lighting up over 18-20 years without any faults. And the second thing, why I'm bringing these points in this question, because see, we are maintaining the efficiency and the profitability. So because in our business, I'm sure in the printing as well, we have lots of players. Okay, And sometimes these players, they don't have a crystal clear production with their clients, which sometimes affecting on our business directly and indirectly. So this deep trust is very important, which we are following since 40 years, which is we execute whatever we write, which is very important. I'll give you an example. People, they are using, saying that, okay, we put an illumination system of a signage, let's say, and Samsung LED, they put something else. All my respect to everybody, but it gives the good impression for the client so that it continues with you. And exceptional service, you have to be there to the client, whatever he passes through the difficulties during that warranty period or out of the warranty, you have to be there for them. So we are depending more into these strategies so that we can keep our organization to continue more and more. And of course, always bringing new ideas in this industry. Now, recently we started, for example, mixing the digital screens within static 3D signs for indoor, which is helping us a lot, this one for the indoor signages. Yeah, that is our main strategy.
All
to
right.
Keep the hiring quality, fast delivery, and keep the continuation of the business with our clients.
Brilliant. Can you also add the third element, which is also competitive cost? And how are you keeping yourself profitable and with costing? If you can just briefly touch that point, please.
I can tell you briefly the main secret of this. All the raw materials we are importing ourselves from outside. We have direct our sources. We are bringing our raw materials direct from outside, which this is creating somehow stability of our production line. For example, LEDs, power supplies, LED screens, aluminum, other kind of signage components. So this is creating a stability and much more faster production. As you said in the beginning, sometimes you have a clients, they want their signage yesterday. So you have to be ready for it. You have to keep everything ready in your warehouse. One, it's ready, is there. You don't need to wait your order to be delivered to someone. So that is the secret.
That's nice to hear. Let's move on to Daniel from the digital on-demand print market standpoint. So it's a slightly different ball game, isn't it? So delivering speed, no doubt, because digital print is not a problem when it comes to speed and quality. It's improving, it's enhancing, and it's getting better. Obviously, you are over there, and to be flexible and the whole experience. We're talking about quality and speed, and also the competitive cost. Digital print is really a competitive industry. Tell us how at CallPrint, how do you do this, and what's the secret behind this? What's your USP?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's just digital print. It's print in general. Okay, it's a massively saturated market here, I believe. And it's a great question, and it's probably one of the biggest challenges any business faces. Right, everyone wants everything quickly. They want the premium quality, but they want it at the cheapest price. But I think one of the things we've never ever sell on price. Okay, we've always kind of value what we do, the service that we offer, and I think a lot of that comes down just to really, really good, strong relationships, good communication, and also just making the client understand what's actually involved. Because sometimes, people want something. They want all foiling. They want die cutting and everything. They want it same day, and it's just a little. It's an honest conversation and you say, look, I can't get it to you today, but we can get it for you tomorrow, and it's going to cost this much. And if this is when you want it, this is what it's going to be. I don't think you can, or you shouldn't devalue your service, shouldn't devalue what you're offering, because there's always someone who can pretty much turn around and offer it cheaper. Okay, so and I think what we're trying to do to maintain our profitability is we make sure our inventory is right, our equipment is all serviced and up to date, so we have no issues with downtime. We're making sure we've got really strong communication with the client all the way through the process. So if there's a problem, we're making sure we pick up the phone and we call them and we talk them through it. You know, as printers, we have to wear many hats, right? And it's a difficult process sometimes because, again, clients don't always understand the processes that are involved. It's just making sure we don't have any bottleneck within the production. We automate, like I said, PDF workflows now make things really, really quickly. And it's just about maintaining your standards, making sure, and like I say, it's just building strong partnerships will stand you in good stead for a long, long time. We've been very fortunate that we still have clients from 2011 that still work with us to this day. Okay. And then that is a real value of what your business is going to be and what your business is going to be successful. There's always going to be people there who are going to try to do these one-off jobs that will try and get it really cheaply, but it's those long-term relationships and values with clients that you worked with and you've built that really going to stand you in good stead. And like you say, help you be profitable. Never sell on price. Like I say, never devalue what you do. And like I say, it's a challenging. It is challenging, and it's because obviously we all want the work and we all want to be super busy, but you have to, like you say, there's value in what we do, and you know, it's like we just make sure you can communicate that strongly, and hopefully, like you say, that client will not be with you for one job, they will be with you for many jobs and many years. So that's kind of how we work and what we do.
Thank you. I'll come back to you for the question that I have on what you said, but Neil, your take on this very important point, you know, the whole package, if you like, you know, go ahead.
You know, speed, competitiveness, flexibility. It's like I wouldn't be able to hold that bull with its horns and be able to answer you the question directly. You know, we all would just wish that there is existing a supernatural form which I guess gives us the answer and we are solved. It's been an age-old question and it's always been. The big machine manufacturers would be investing humongous amounts of money on their R&D towards speed and quality, and hence I would not want to get into that and try to see how we could enhance the speed and quality, because we are just depending on their capabilities to be able to do that for us. But let's target a bit of flexibility, which you mentioned. One of the points is that how we could be a little more flexible, and can we incorporate options and alternatives in the flexibility option so that we don't always target it to the price and competitiveness. So our competitiveness then gets into a different field, is that because we are able to offer a little more in terms of the flexibility of options, as even Daniel said that, certain set of other type of medias and everything else. One of the examples is, Jiffin Graphics. It launched a fantastic range of media from Sevag called Crush. Now, Crush has got media which is made out of waste cocoa, which is made out of waste citrus. They've got mud, algae, tree-free, you name it. And I mean, these sort of options, if you're trying to offer these as an alternative, then definitely the conversation has moved on from just the price. Yeah. So for us to be even more competitive, then we have, trying to think and explore the possibility of using of inks, which are sort of more greener inks, the non-toxic inks, which will emit less of VOCs in terms of this thing, and then try to talk to the client saying that, would you like to think about us because we are offering you this sort of a concept. To move their attention from things. Then the last is also another thing of introduction of AI into the workflows. which will sing. One of the examples is management services of GCC Group. They have fantastic 12 use cases where they have actually used AI in print setups to sort of either reduce the amount of print request, and those are in terms of either different industries, in invoicing, in contracting, in legal, in insurance, in medical claims, in the HR, you name it, and they have tried to use these use cases to prove that print can, if you can't affect print in terms of the total price and the volume in the price, then can you affect it in terms of the volume? There are so many other ways that we could think about bringing down the necessity to print the unwanted parts. In regards to operational efficiency, I think, I'm sure that most of these top manufacturing brands are using things like Microsoft Azure, Google AI Documents, Kofax then Amazon has its own text extract, which are sort of, possibly the moment you send documents to them, they decide and extract all the unwanted, unnecessary parts and give you relevant brace printing. So that is another way. HP and Canon has already taken a very good initiative in that respect. In fact, they have softwares which they are offering to their this thing. So we as PSPs would love to now embody those sort of machineries which would add on that thing, and then be able to use all these other recyclable, possibly forget about recyclable. Let's look at biodegradable material, which we can then look at as adding as a competitive advantage. We could then look at possibility of giving the benefit of the lesser net quantity of print request towards the total amount of outstanding. So principally, we would definitely also pray that a lot of these top big time multinationals, which in US and other parts of the world are investing multi-billion dollars in AI, they would try to sort of create agents, AI agents, which will help us in the print industry, rather than only concentrating on the other industries. Hopefully they would do something related to agents for the print industry, and hence, as a whole, rather than trying to fight with only the price, we would try to find in terms of the competitiveness, and we will try offer flexibility, and then try to push back the price aspect of it, because the more you talk about it, the price goes low.
Yeah. Thank you. So, Daniel, I think Neil partially answered the question that I had. Obviously, AI is going to have a say when it comes to this whole package to make it more efficient and more viable. And I would also add, tell us a little more. I think all three of you do use some kind of a ERP and MI solution for your production, for your whole ecosystem. So does it really help you to be more profitable, more efficient? I would start with Sevag. From a signage standpoint, are you using ERP and MI systems in your workflow to understand and to close the loop for your whole production process? And is it helping you?
To be honest, no, because we are still more into human-oriented work, because we have a fabrication. It's not like fully automated production line as in the printing. Still no, but we prefer. I personally recommend, to keep the stability of the work and to be away from the competitiveness issue, and to make our businesses a little bit more profitable. We're not looking to be this thing, to create like semi-government organization, which will be linked with the approvals of the, let's say, government authorities, to get the quality of the signage or printing or whatever it is, because this one will help a lot to keep our prices standard and our quality standard in the market. For example, how the buildings they have now, after you finish the building construction, you need an inspector from a government. It will come and check the building as it's in the drawing, then and give you an completion certificate, for example. We need, in my opinion, if we have such an organization, like ISA, for example, International Sign Association, they had in North America, they have that thing. Whenever it's coming out, everything, they come and check everything as per the guidelines, and then they release the final approval. Here we don't have that one. If we have that, then the companies will be obliged to follow the standard qualities, the end product thing, and so we can keep our prices in the targets, and we will not be obliged to reduce, and this will help a lot the continuation of the business.
Thank you. Thank you, Sevag. I mean, what you mentioned is very important, and we need compliance, we need regulation and policy and approvals as ISA that you just mentioned. That's in North America. But, speaking of your in-house production efficiency, a lot of printers and converters and also signage companies are benefiting by using software and connecting the loop with ERP and MI systems. Daniel, your take on that? You're on mute. Yeah.
You're on mute, Dan. Dan, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I realised I've got multiple screens. So sorry. So
Right.
look, from our point of view, so we use a few systems. Okay, so we just for efficiency. So again, and just kind of a client database as well. So we have a ordering system where we got all our inventory. Every time we do a quote, it will tell us basically what the price is for all our materials, our labor, etc., machine costs, clicks, etc. It will make sure we've got that stock in. If we're quoting a large job, have we got enough of that paper in stock? So it will automatically flag up if we haven't. And what that allows us to do is just quickly quote someone. And there's nothing more frustrating if a client comes to you and goes, "Can you quote me on this work?" And then they're still chasing you 2 days later that you haven't provided a quote. And the beauty is we can send them the quote, they can approve the order there, and then they can upload the file. It could be proof checked, and then we can get it straight into production. There's a quality control element to that, and then also that's also linked to our accounting software. So once the order is processed and it's converted, it will automatically create the invoice, and then we use AI in our accounting. So again, we got a automated process with AI that is going out and automating emails and double checking and following up, because we all know cash flow is king, right? So again, we integrate it in that little bit, and we're only a small business, so those things work really, really well for us. And I really like AI. I use AI quite a lot, primarily in our marketing, because I don't know about the other guys, but I find being a printer is real challenging in terms of marketing, because none of our clients like us to showcase the fantastic work that we do for them. So printers are very, how would I say, very cautious about showing what they do for their clients. So again, it's and I'll give you a very, very quick example. I work with a really, really good company that does some really beautiful bespoke boxes. My first meeting I had with them, they went, "Oh, I couldn't find anything on your Instagram." So I said to them, "Okay, so if I produce these fantastic boxes for you, can I show them on my Instagram?" And they were like, "No." So it's I use AI in that and said to kind of create ideas and something as a service provider to try and gauge a bit of interest, because again, I find it very difficult on the marketing side, and I don't think us as printers, we're marketing ourselves very, very well. We do a lot of fantastic work, and our hands are slightly tied, but I would like to see us be a little bit more out there in terms of what we're doing in terms of our marketing and how we're promoting ourselves.
Perfect. Neil, what's your take on this importance of ERP and software complementing and making you to be more efficient?
So Dan, we are not that big a organization which requires a detailed ERP, but we definitely have something called a job bag order system, in which when we put up the information related to the new inquiries coming up, it will also then, once we fill it up, the new inquiries, it will give us the information related to the past similar sort of inquiries, either from the same customer or from similar other requests which are made. So definitely it helps us in terms of analyzing as to what should be the should we go out with the same options. If the client is demanding anything, any different stamps, what would be the alternatives different from what was already offered to them? So the conversation via job back system, is very good. It also then helps us to look at the fact of how many clients are inactive in that respect to us. Um, and in relation to AI being used, there was an excellent, my memory serves me right, an excellent research report done by Key Point Intelligence on AI in North America. Okay, maybe it's just to give you a comparative this thing, that in North America, when they did an research as to the specifically PSPs, that's print service providers, using AI, and in that it was shown that the present usage of AI is more, again, a little bit more towards, again, what Daniel was saying is that towards marketing aspect. And the one of the newest thing is graphic designing. We use generative AI for creating new layouts and new designs and everything else. So the generative AI part was the graphic designing part, and the marketing aspect was almost 30 to 60% was only these two aspects. Whereas the actual requirement from AI is supposed to be towards predictive analysis. It's supposed to be towards campaign analysis. It's supposed to be towards content creation in terms of what is to be put up for the campaign. It has to be to send time optimization and everything else. So why are we not able to do it is purely because there are difficulties in achieving that. The first and most important difficulty is, which is the starting point when it comes to PSP? Which will be the starting point you'll make it applicable from? Will the knowledge of your present team be able to address that request? Would it be integrable with your present setup? If this is the newest format and we are using a bit of older machines, how it can be integrated? And the last but not the least is that when we integrate it, would the new laws in relation to data privacy and other things be compliant with these sort of things? So if for any reason we try to use all these AI generated things and do variable information print, and the data gets leaked out because of some other things, how would we comply to the data information system? So there are so many challenges that we think while we're using AI. So that's the reason why we think that we would rather go step by step, do AI in bits and pieces, and then as I mentioned the previous one, ask the machine guys who are manufacturing, use AI in their manufacturing processes by itself, so that those will eradicate those parts of print which are not affecting these rules and regulations.
Right.
So that's what I would feel is that it's a nice word, it's a fantastic thing, but AI is something that we would like to, in our industry at least, try to be a little with a pinch of salt or something like that.
All right, thank you. Before I go to the last question, which I would like to ask you, something which came up now in our discussion, I just want all three of you to give your take very quickly in 1 minute. Starting with, let's say we'll start with Neil. We'll go the other way now. So Neil, tell me, what is sustainability for you as an organization, and on the other side, your clients, how specific are they when it comes to sustainability? Obviously, we're talking print with you. So sustainability comes with a price. You have to pay, at least right now, you have to pay a little more than what you do for the conventional work that you do. So because of the volumes and somewhat many reasons are there behind that. But what does sustainability mean for you and for your customers?
Sustainability is a core word which every single organization in every single industry is using it in some way or the other. Whether it's just to prop up their enterprise sort of corporate sustainability options in terms of the ESR activities and everything else. But for
Yes.
me, sustainability is possibly trying to introduce and being a print service provider and trying to again priorly, as I said, offering different type of medias, offering different type of technologies to print that, offering different type of. So I could talk about saying using of the non the inks which are more greener and user friendly, the medias that are going to be more applicable towards the upcoming thing. And as I brought up already, the government has been saying Etisalat and a lot of other people are taking up the sustainability to a new level. They have already started implementing it in some format or the other. So it is now only whether we will be able to have all those newer machines which will be able to adapt to those capabilities. Now, if you want to use a sustainable film, whether the present level of machinery will be able to adapt to that capability to be able to print that film or not, whether the existing inks would work on those new medias. The coatings on this new media. So there is so much of complication in relation to sustainability, but we definitely want sustainability to be there, because that's one point we will use as a differentiation factor in all our offerings, and then be able to convert the clientele to a different conversation than the price.
Right, right. Daniel, your take, please, on sustainability for you, and also how well it is accepted by your clients.
It's, I mean, like Neil said, it's something clients are requesting more and more. They're very, very conscious, especially if they got CSR programs and they got these initiatives from obviously that they're running. I think we're very fortunate. I mean, a lot of the paper suppliers now are producing a lot more recyclable paper. As digital printing, we don't use chemicals, etc. So we're a lot more sustainable. But also there's sustainable apparel coming out. There's wooden. We get a lot of things for branded marketing materials. So bamboo, wooden, these what do they call, power banks and things like this. So that there are more and more options. I would like to see more stuff come available to us in the region, because we are still pretty limited on what we can offer here. For example, I know there's a fantastic brand in the UK that does all sustainable apparel, from hoodies, t-shirts, shorts, uniforms. I'd love to see something like that become more widely available here. But again, it's about us educating the client and kind of letting them understand because again, when recycled paper first come on, people didn't like the shade. You put it up against the white paper and they didn't like that, and then they're saying, "Oh, I don't want to pay more for that, and it's not white enough." So, but now, like I said, the paper suppliers are producing a lot better range, more available for us. Digital can print on a lot of substrates. So we're very fortunate. We can offer quite a lot. And it's definitely a market now that's growing and growing. And again, because we're doing shorter runs, we're not wasting as much materials. And like I said, we're not using chemicals, etc. So we're in a strong area in terms of offering that to our clients.
Okay, thank you. Sevag, this question to you is slightly different, right? We are talking about signage, print, out of home and also indoor. We have two different categories. You have water-based inks, you have eco-solvent, low solvent, you have solvent, you have UV. You have so many applications when it comes to inks, and also obviously in substrates. So it's quite a challenge to balance this so-called sustainability on one side, and also to make sure it's commercially viable and to be competitive in the market. So your answer, I'm sure, is a bit different than the other two who have told. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, no, we have changed a lot. Let me start with the printing part. We use solvent inks before, water-based ink. Now everything's changing to the UV, which is more eco-friendly, and it has been by the Dubai government, actually UAE government has been addressed to us to not to use any more solvent-based ink. because of the smell, and the UV inks are more eco-friendly inks comparing to the other types of the inks. Why? Regarding in the signage industry, yes, we have changed. As you know, we used to have neon lights in the signages, which was like 15, 20,000 voltages. Now it has been reduced into LED modules, which is 12 volt only. So this is much more. And now we are making a study of, instead of using electrical power, to use more solar panels to lead the signages and stay much more longer, which will be more eco-friendly. Nowadays, we are using more into recycled acrylics. Of course, there is a price difference, but the recycled acrylic is helping us a lot. These are the major points that we have changed it from old to new.
Excellent. I think that's
Yeah.
it's more impactful with signage industry, as I hear from you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. But this one last question, if you can, give us your take, if you have to summarize today's discussion, I'll have a 1 minute answer that you all can give, individually. So starting with Sevag, looking ahead, we're talking about the next 3 to 5 years, okay? What do you see as the biggest transformation in your industry, the signage industry? And about also, how are you preparing yourself for that, for the next 3 to 5 years?
I always see a growth, especially in UAE, thanks to our UAE government that always give us the opportunity to become bigger and bigger and bigger, because there are lots of new brands are coming in this region, in this area, which helping us to increase our volume of the business. And at the same time, we look ourselves to keep our quality, okay, to keep the stability of the business. That's it. Very short and quick.
All right, thank you. Daniel,
Yeah.
your take, where are you, where do you see CallPrint in the next 3 to 5 years in terms of technology, in terms of your growth, and also how are you going to be prepared to stay competitive and profitable?
Well, I think you kind of you have to diversify. I think you have to look at trends. You have to look at things that your customers want, okay, and what clients are pushing for. I think you need to be versatile. You don't just worry about the volume work, but what can we offer that's different? I think print is evolving. It's one of the oldest industries, and it's no more just about putting pictures and text onto paper. It's now the thing I love about print, and I've always loved, is the concept to the finished product. When a client gets that product and they give you a call and said, "Oh, this is fantastic, this is wonderful," and it's a physical thing, okay? And in a world where everything is online and digital, where you can still get to hold something, you still get that smell. You remember that kind of feel and the smell and everything of something new. I think that has real power. I think embrace technology, but don't lose the human element. Technology is coming whether we like it or not. It's there. AI is evolving everything, but you still need to have that human element. Be creative, because again, if you can be creative and think outside the box, etc., you'll go far. Just understand your customers, and like I say, it's just print is what we do, but it's not necessarily who we are, right? That's our industry and what we do, but who we are and how we deal with customers and how we look after customers is really our value and what our strength is.
I like that, Daniel. Brilliant. Neil, your take on 3 to 5
I'll try
years
to keep it
now.
short. All right. So the point is that right now, from what we are to what we would like to move, we have seen ourselves moving on from being simple, VDB printers to now we would love to move into something called AR, VR as a incorporation within the print industry. So how AR, VR, XR technologies can complement and add on to the print capabilities in whatever we offer, whether it's brochures, posters, cutouts, anything else, as an additional, totally new way of looking things. Another thing that came up to my mind was something that Alex Jahabani spoke about, and 4D printing. It's talking about 3D printing and with an additive component of something called time element to it, wherein he talks about the fact that how you could add an element which will over a period of time either form or deform or change the 3D printed element to begin with. I mean, these are some things that we can most definitely look forward to, even as a slow progressive step, as the Japanese said, rather than we go for the Kaizen type of a process wherein we do small incremental learnings every single day, rather than trying to look at one massive change in terms of something totally new happening in the world. So, that's one thing. So I sincerely believe that when all of these people who have humongous amount of money make investments and take digital printing and all the other aspects of print to a higher level, in some way or the other, as they said, if it benefits one among us, it benefits all of us. And I sincerely hope that benefit passes on to printouts and we do better in the future.
Brilliant. Before we wind up with this webinar, Daniel, I just want to compliment your word. You use the word human element. That's very important in today's world. And I was reading an article, a colleague of mine had written an article on LinkedIn this morning, and I complimented her for that. By the way, today is HR International Day. Okay, it's so I didn't know that, but when I read the article, so she was very specifically writing about human element and the power of people in today's AI world. AI is required, automation is required, but don't forget, without people, it cannot happen. So it's very important that we retain people, use them more effectively. And I think on this day, HR International Day, we all should stress more on nurturing and retaining our people rather than replacing them with automation and stuff. To effectively use our people is very important. I know it's a challenge with the AI able to do something better than what people could do or can do in some of the areas. But I think today being HR International Day, the human element is something which we can underline, and we all should agree on that as entrepreneurs.
Yes, of course.
Right? And okay, so today's discussion clearly highlights how the region, especially from the signage and digital print, is rapidly evolving towards greater personalization. We spoke about experiential engagement and faster turnaround. We spoke about premiumness when it comes to packaging. We spoke also about different grades of digital formats and structures, possible short runs, and all of that. It's exciting, and it's this transformative industry is really burgeoning. It's a burgeoning industry, as I always use that word. So let's look forward. We have SGI Dubai coming up October this year. I think we all are preparing for this exhibition where we need all the stakeholders coming together. This is just a platform that we are using to make sure that everybody is coming together. So thank you once again, all three of you speakers. You were great, and thank you. And above all, I think I should thank all the audience who are here. And I'd like to pass on to Ashik. Back to you.
Guys, Ben, firstly, thank you so much. I think you couldn't have summed up that any better. It was perfect. It was chef's kiss, so fantastic. But Neil, Sevag, Daniel, thank you so much, guys, for joining. It is fantastic to get your insights, and I'm pretty sure the audience also received that so much more insight, especially the topics and the areas that you covered. So we're just very grateful to have you guys on board, and everyone out there. Thank you so much. So again, like Ben said, our SGI MENA event is taking place from the 26th to the 28th of October this year at the World Trade Center. So make sure that you guys mark your calendars. Once again, thank you. Take care, and hopefully see you guys again soon. Bye.
Thank you once again to everybody, and specifically to GL Exhibitions for the upheaval task of now going to take it forward and organize the event in physical.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, audience.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Bye. Bye, everybody.